Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to uh, what's today? Monday. Travel and cruise industry news. Man, this is a crazy, crazy morning here. And sorry, no introduction like normal today, folks, because we're trying to get John live on from over there in Germany in Berlin. And he could hear me, but we had no picture. I'm not sure if he's there. John, can you hear us? John is not hearing us. So, John, we got nothing from John. So, except just a dull picture there. So, all right, we'll go on. Okay. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News, everybody. And you guys, I can tell we got a special guest with us this morning. This, of course, is Shelby Frenette. She's known as Shelby Live as her broadcast. She's all over the place. Shelby, it's so good to see you again. We haven't caught up for a lot. It seems like forever.
Yeah, I'm so glad you reached out. You guys are always so in the fondness of my heart, and I love what you're doing, and I love seeing your program. Of course, we're all running a million miles a minute, but I love to reconnect. And so when you asked me to be on the show, I said, we're going to stop the presses. We're going to make it work. Let's nail down a date.
All right. I so appreciate that. Now, you were, let's see, John has now got two cameras up. Let me see. John, can you hear us? No, that's wavy lines.
I can hear you fine, you guys. Yep.
John,
I can always hear you.
I can hear you now, but we got no picture, and you got some background noise. Okay, bad picture, bad sound. We're going to go on because I'm going to go on, John. I'll try to come back to you. Okay.
Well, it wasn't meant to be, John, in Berlin. Yeah. We miss you.
All right. So, all right, Shelby, you just got off of the Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady. You know, I've interviewed 5 or 6 or 7 people about the Virgin Lady. So I don't want to do a nuts and bolts interview with you about this cruise.
Okay, great. And I haven't seen those interviews. So, and we haven't, just for your viewers, we have not even talked about what we're going to discuss, except for that it was something about the Scarlet Lady. So this is totally live off the cuff. There has been no prep work, and it's going to be very honest and from the heart. And hopefully I won't be, I might be shocked at some of your questions, Chillie. I know sometimes you get us good.
Okay. Virgin has promoted adult only.
Yes.
But that's a little bit more than just no kids.
Well, what is?
The adult only.
I don't know what you mean by that. You have to keep talking. Okay. Tell me more.
Tell us a little bit about the entertainment and the sexiness of it all.
Okay, well, I love talking about sexiness. Actually, we're working with Temptations as well, which is very sexy, topless optional at the pool. So that's you can go to travelfund.biz for that info. But I know I've been on cruises 2,500 days at sea. I've been on all the major cruise lines, so I really do understand the gamut of like traditional cruising. I worked for Princess for 8 years. I worked on all the big lines with the huge singles groups. You know, MSC, NCL, Royal Caribbean, Celebrity. I've done them all, and some river cruising, which I love. And we're also doing more of that. So this was exciting to me because it was adults only. When you ask me about the entertainment, honestly, my fairest answer is it was late, and I am not a late night person. I stay up like 10 o'clock. I'm pretty much out. That's where I just kind of turn into a turtle and retreat. But every now and again, I'll stay out late. But most of their entertainment started at 11, even midnight. And I just couldn't make it. I physically just couldn't make it. I was exhausted. And there also was one of my only big critiques about I loved the food. I loved the service. I loved the ship. It was a totally different vibe. It is not for the traditional cruiser. That is for sure. And I don't think they want it to be. However, I feel like they deserved, and what they really missed is there is no cruise director. There is no hostess. They said that wasn't really necessary. They didn't think that was necessary. Now, I have to tell you personally, having been a cruise director and a lead cruise director, I don't know if I was taking it personally, and I tried to be unbiased with their thoughts on that. Like it wasn't an important position or something. And I feel like it's one of the most important positions. And what I've decided is I'm absolutely right. It is one of the most important positions because it kind of like, to me, the cruise director and the cruise director staff, they are the conduit from the greatness of the ship, whatever the ship has to offer, in your heart, kind of like making everything spectacular feel magical so that it's special and you're not a number and you're not confused. And, on a cruise ship, most of the time, no matter what ship you're on, most people that aren't really heavily traveled, and even myself, get a little confused the first couple nights. Oh, look at me. Oh, you got the good ones, don't you, Chillie? I was a little confused of where to go, when to go. And again, they didn't have anything in that space of about, 7 to 11. There was nothing really going on. So I had to go to bed. So I didn't see the entertainment a lot. So that's my answer there.
They promoted, at least the way when it started off, going back through the year and a half we waited to see this ship. And it looked like they were strictly going after the millennials. Is that still the demographic, or is it more old folks like me that want to live like a millennial?
Okay, so I agree with you on this, that they were definitely going for the young at heart and probably millennial based. What I felt like is their marketing team is millennial. That's how I felt. I'm not sure that because I've seen this happen before. In fact, U River Cruises, which is a part of Uniworld, and I don't know if you know anything about Uniworld, but they're the best of the best. River cruising, fantastic, 5-star white glove service. Wow. They did U River, and actually we chartered a few ships with them before COVID. And they were also doing the whole millennial thing. And what I keep saying is, and now this is 2 years later, but anyway, 2 years ago, I kept saying, why are we working so hard on promoting for millennials when most of them are really in the beginning stages of their life, finance wise? Unless they're like trust fund babies, they don't have the money, nor are they using that kind of money to travel. In fact, if anything, the millennials are much more internet savvy. They want to do it on their own. They're doing more backpacking rather than this fancy lifestyle that, they like to do the Instagram fancy lifestyle, but that's not real. That's look at me, I'm famous. That's not actually real. That's just people taking pictures. I mean, they literally like rent boats, rent jets to take pictures. They're not going on those trips, So I found it very interesting, the market, and I'm in marketing, but I'm old school marketing, I guess. I'm looking for the people that actually want to buy, not just the people that want to show off and that actually have the money and time to experience it, not just the people that want to show off. And I always call myself a real travel influencer, not just one that does kissy faces or gets in a bikini, which I will. I'm not above getting in bikinis, as you see, but I want to influence people to travel. And I thought it was being marketed by millennials. And I did look into that. Like, is it just for millennials? Because that's not our demographic. I don't have that demographic cruising with me. We have 35 plus, but I would say that's the smallest range. Mostly it's 40s, 50s, 60s that we have. But they are young at heart, and they do like to be around younger people. They like that vibration, like you mentioned. They don't just want to be with people older than themselves. They would like to be with people that are also younger, or younger in spirit. And my network of singles, even no matter how old they are, they're mostly the young at heart. They are like the ones that are like hip and cool and fun and want to try new things. So I thought this would definitely gravitate for them. what I experienced is hard to explain as what it would be for the norm, because again, this is a brand new cruise line, and they had a lot of travel agents on there checking it out. So that's not their demographic necessarily. That's people checking it out.
Yeah.
They had a few groups on board that kind of overtook the space, and there was only 50% full. So I don't feel like I got a very good assessment of what it normally will be. But it was not what we would have thought. There weren't a lot of millennials for sure. There weren't a lot of older people, but there were a lot of travel agencies and travel agents. And then they had two groups. One was the Bears, and the other one was, gosh, what was the other one? I don't even remember what it was, but it was a similar type of group. So there was two groups of guys, basically, with guys. So that happens. We have groups on board. I usually have singles groups on board. So we're kind of rambunctious, and we're mostly the heterosexual singles, but we have groups of singles. I think they would have had a great time in a group of singles environment, but groups in general usually take over spaces. And I would say the one great thing was that it wasn't the kids taking over the space for once.
Yeah.
So that's how I could say my experience was.
Well, one of the things I loved about them is this tagline,
Oh.
Save water, drink champagne. I think that's fabulous. Of course, you look pretty good in the picture too.
Thank
But that's
you. I
neither here nor
appreciate
there.
that. I'm no model, but my husband tells me, "Aren't you back?"
Yeah.
And I do love pictures.
And that's you guys in
Aw.
the that's in the Razzle. Isn't that what it's
So
called?
that is the entry to the manor, their disco, which I never actually got to because it started at 11. And again, I do get up early. I am an early bird. I'll be up like 6 o'clock, but I don't often stay out late. So
I've seen that. I'm with you. I'd never make it past midnight. That'd be awful for me.
And I feel like that means I'm old, but honestly, I work really hard, and I get up early, so you can't do both. You can either do one or the other. You can't be up early and stay up late unless you're 20.
Right.
So my big suggestion to them is they need to they deserve to revamp their entertainment scheduling, their programming, and also as far as the shows go, I only went to one, but I did do a lot of due diligence in asking everyone, of course, how they enjoyed the show, etc. And here's my honest assessment of their entertainment currently. First of all, entertainment is easy to fix. And honestly, you can do it within a weekend. Entertainment isn't the make it or break it thing. It's a learning time, and they are learning. I know they are trying to be so different, and they are. It is not traditional cruising whatsoever. Like I said, the restaurants were outrageously great, celebrity level quality food. The service was fun, fresh, and high level. Like, it wasn't so casual that you felt like they didn't care, but they were casual enough to make you feel like you could sort of joke with them and stuff. Where celebrity level service is very like hands offish. So I loved that. But their entertainment, I know, trying to be so different, but I think sometimes it appeared to me that the people were confused more than entertained. They were intrigued, but more. Well, you didn't leave. Nobody left the show going, "Wow, that was an amazing show. Like, you should see the show." That was interesting. And like, you can only say that so many times, so I feel like that's definitely a place they need to do some changing, and I'm sure they will from the feedback. But right now, their programming, not having an entertainment director, not having those really high level times, that 7 to 10 hour on regular cruise ships is packed full. That is their entertainment hour. And then sometimes they do a late night. And I would say I would keep their late night stuff because they are trying to gravitate to a more party crowd, but you need to add something in between because people like me and you can't stay awake unless there's a reason. So give me a reason,
exactly.
man.
All right. Just sliding away from the Scarlet Lady for a minute. And of course, we got actually there's 4 ships in the works now. 3 more ships coming from Virgin.
Okay, I didn't know about
that. I interviewed Shane yesterday. Shane,
yes,
who's one of the sales folks over in the UK and Australia, of all places. But yeah, there's actually a 4th one in the works now. It has not been named yet. you have travelfunbiz.com.
Yep.
Is that just for selling Virgin Voyages?
No, no, we're a travel agency, bonded, insured, and we've been around since just before COVID, where we got crushed completely.
Yeah.
And if there was anything I could do over, it would definitely be not getting into the business right before COVID. Um, our story was that we started with trying to do upscale singles because we do all singles. For the last 12 years, I've been working with all singles, but there hasn't been a brand that is taking it up a little bit where, a little bit more luxury. We're not talking what's that cruise line that's oh my gosh, I'm having such a senior moment. The cruise line Regency. It's not like all inclusive Regency where, it's extraordinarily expensive, but a little higher scale than some of the more mid-level or lower level big ship cruising. So we did river cruising and definitely Virgin because adults only, definitely looking for the adults only options, not having to be. And then, of course, we're doing stuff a little bit spicier options that's a lot more wild and crazy, but all ages because my network is all ages. So I definitely still think Virgin fits in that. I just think they need to transition their entertainment a little bit. And that way they will have everything we're looking for: adults only, a higher scale type of environment with different people that enjoy that. So like, people that are in the same mindset of trying to treat themselves a little bit more luxuriously, better food quality, better experience, not so many people, not so many lines. And I think Virgin will fit the bill for that, but it's definitely, still a transition. They only had like 4 or 5 cruises under their belt. So,
Yeah.
and I thought the ship was great. I know, it's not the traditional type, like, glamorous. I wouldn't call it, regal, which I still like that type as well. I like the ornate, the beautiful decadent stuff. It's much more streamlined, much more modern, but I like that too. I mean, it's definitely nice, and they had some really cool experiences. Like when you get in the elevator, it's like a disco. It's so cool. When you walk in the elevator, you feel like you're transporting yourself somewhere. Um, but yeah, it's travelfun.biz is for groups, and we take all groups, couples, singles, but we do specialize in groups of solos. I mean, when I was hired to run the company's marketing, it was spearheading the solo travel division. Throughout COVID, things transitioned and we ended up buying the company, which was not the plan. But I wanted to make sure our guests were safe, and their money was safe, and nobody knew what was going to happen with COVID. And we had sold $250,000 of travel within the first 3 months of opening, and then COVID hit. And the investors did know that filing bankruptcy could be a thing, but I said, well, this is my name on it. These are my people that have believed in me. There's no way we can do that. So I took a real personal leap of faith. So we'll see.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I didn't know all of that.
Yeah.
Is that's your main focus then as far as income money goes now?
So I work in social media, so I've had to pivot naturally over the last 2 years. My main focus for income over the last 2 years has been doing social media for travel agencies and small businesses, small business owners. I got hired by our mayor, and I guess I upset a lot of people because she was the underdog. But anyone could have hired me. They just they hired a big company, and I know how to do social marketing for real because it's not about just look at me. It's about connection and talking about real things. And, I had the mayor speaking on camera, which people don't generally do, about these issues. And we resonated and hit it home. And so from that, because we won by 200 votes out of 11,000, by the way, she was definitely the underdog. And because of that in the community, people started to ask me to run their social media. So that has been my main income. However, last night specifically, I put down in the books, we put down 9 new trips from now until July, mostly solos and power couple focused, but groups. So we're using Virgin Voyages, we're using Temptations, and we're using a couple luxurious solo river cruising and a yacht. We're trying to get a private yacht, 40 people max, out in Croatia coastline. I'd like that to be totally a singles or couples that are fun with the singles. Like we do have single cruisers that become couples. They still want to travel with their friends. And so I'm cool with that as long as they're all transparent and they're not trying to mislead people, Does that kind of answer your question?
Oh, yeah, it does. How does Virgin rate overall as far as for solo travelers?
Oh, I think it rates high. They have a lot of good solo cabins and they have solo sea views, and the price is right. We're doing a Richard Branson cruise, the celebrity sightings cruise, because Richard Branson and his gang will be on board. They have, I just think I pulled like 10 or 20 cabins that are solos, and they are not expensive. I mean, usually when they've done, like NCL does their solo cabins, and Royal Caribbean's even starting now, I believe, and a couple other cruise lines, but they generally they're not double the price like you would pay for one cabin for two people, but they're high. These are reasonable solo cabins. And for that reason alone, I think it's fabulous for solos, because they have the option to have those solo cabins. And it's just, there are more single people on Virgin. And I think there always will be. There's going to be groups of singles. There's going to be the bachelorette parties. There's going to be the bachelor parties. There's going to be more of a single, unconventional, traditional vibe. So I think it's going to work out well, but I do believe that they will, where I bring my groups, they always have a good time, right? It's all about who you're with too. My friends used to say we could be in a cardboard box and still have a good time. I don't know if that still holds true in my 40s, but I will say that wherever I bring my people, we have a good time, because we're doing private events too. We're doing theme nights. We do dinners together. We do cocktail parties, dance lessons. So they'll have a great time. And I think they'll really enjoy the fact that the children, I mean, people are like, well, the pool is small. I said, well, honestly, one pool is always taken up by the kids. And I have a 13-year-older. So believe me, I love kids, but it's like a little annoying that we work so hard and then they get to enjoy their vacation, And I'm like, man, like one pool is already always taken for the kids. So you only have the back pool for the adults pool in normal cruising. So in this case, you have the normal pool, which is about the size of that back pool on most big ships. You have less people because it's like a 2,000, 2,500 capacity. It's a small ship. And then they have the big whirlpool. That's like a ginormous whirlpool. Which
Jagunda hot tub.
Yeah. But I found myself
talking about a party area. That's got to be a party area.
It's definitely a party area. So I think our groups of singles will have a fabulous time with our groups. Do I think they would have fun just going solo by themselves? I've never been a big fan of that anyway. And I'm not just saying that because I own a travel business now accidentally. But I am saying that because I've traveled by myself. I worked on cruise ships and I didn't know anybody on the ships. So I go on board. I'm my own department head because in the beginning I was a fitness manager, fitness director. It was just me. And I had a very strange job because, I was solo by myself and working very early mornings and some late nights with the cruise director staff. So I was by myself. And so I would have to go tour by myself because I had some weird time off. And it was either that, go alone or don't go at all. So I went by myself a lot. And there is no one that can tell me that for most people that they don't more enjoy being able to rub elbows with someone and go, oh my gosh, look at that, than to be by themselves completely. And then dining. I mean, I used to have to dine by myself a lot. I had the officer's mess, which was awesome. But because of my schedule, once again, I would only be able to dine by myself. And I mean, eating alone every night is not what I consider a great time. Maybe once in a while I want to eat by myself just because I am an only child and I appreciate space. And I'm also very extroverted, but I'm the kind of extrovert that needs time alone to recharge. But I don't want to not have options to sit with my friends. So being in a group of singles, being able to do what you want when you want, but also have the option to have a party and have someone to rub elbows with and say, hey, can we take that cab? You want to try this? You want to get dinner? It's just so much better with a group of singles, All
right. Now, over and above your group-ish efforts, are you going to go after the just traditional booking business?
We take all bookings. We can make all bookings. As a travel agency owner, so mostly our focus right now that COVID is really I wouldn't say past us, but we know how to work with it now because it was so unknown prior. My biggest focus is to get more travel agents in under us to book people. So we get a lot of people that want interest. I give them to the travel agents that we have under us because it's just too much work for me. I have to work with groups because the money is just much better when you have more groups. Plus, that's where I excel. I know what they're looking for. I know when the group is building, who's my clientele, what they're going to like on board. That's where I am really, well versed. But we do take all bookings. We're a normal travel agency, so we'll take whatever, but I give them to my travel agents, and I want to start the funnel of getting more travel agents working with Travel Fun.
If somebody out here wants to say, talk to Shelby about booking either a group or just straight up,
right?
How do they get you?
Well, they can find me many ways. Shelby Live, of course, but also Shelby Frenette, if you can spell it, or Solo Travel Expert on all the handles, or just message Chillie. He can get you in touch with me.
Okay. I got no problem with that.
Guys. When are you going out next? When's your next thing?
I got Royal Caribbean and MSC are letting an oxygen guest on.
Oh, wonderful.
So, and I'm still even though I don't use oxygen when I do my lives now, it's right behind me. If
you need
start getting short of breath, I grab it. But it's for whatever reason, Carnival and all of their progeny and Norwegian, even though they won't say this publicly, won't book oxygen folks until March 22nd.
Wow.
But
this is something I did not know about. Thank you for letting me know. And is this COVID related somehow? Is this a new rule? Because I know they used to allow it.
Oh yeah, they always have. So I'm assuming they were more interested in keeping everybody safe than having to deal with an old fat guy with oxygen. So, and that's fine. I didn't mind it at all. But now I'm ready to go. So January 24th.
Okay, very good.
I go on Freedom of the Seas, and
then, I love the Freedom of the Seas.
And then I have a night back in Miami, and then I get on MSC Seaside for 7 days, and back for one night, and then MSC Divina for 7 days. So I'm doing back to back to back.
Fabulous. Well, anything with the groups though? I mean, I know before all this we were talking about doing groups with your singles that you guys
have. No, I have not. I've just totally gotten away from all of that now with my health issues until, I'm back.
Well, you look like you're back. I'm so pleased to see you looking so healthy, and I know you've been through a lot, and we've been praying for you, and it's really the fact that you've continued on too. I mean, I just want to hats off to you, because it's easy to get into those depression and isolation when you're going through something so traumatic.
And see, I give all you guys the credit, you and all of my friends that are in positions like yours, and then all of my audience. I give y'all credit for keeping me alive. Literally, you gave me something to live for, and now I'm ready to start living again. So
well, you have to come on with us. You have to come. You have to be one of our featured speakers. That's what has to happen when we get going. Well, you can check it out, travelfun.biz. The next couple days are going to have more and more. Like I said, 9 trips until July. Yeah. See if anything that you like is on there, and let me know, and we can see what we can do, and you can promote to your people and get your people on board, and hopefully that will pay for your cruise. That's the way group leaders work. We train group leaders, so I'll give you the cliff notes. Right. But we would love just to have you. It is a lot of inspiration, and you're a wealth of knowledge. I mean, a lot of times I'm learning stuff from you. In fact, I did not know that Virgin had a 4th ship until today when you told me. Apparently you've got your finger on the pulse. I knew they had 3, but I didn't know about the 4th.
I'll cheat. I just found out yesterday while I was interviewing Shane, and he probably just found out. Did you also know that Virgin has made this big contract with all kinds of professional athletes?
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Oh, yeah. They've got a group of professional athletes that are investing in the company.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, people like Serena Williams. And
oh, wow.
I'm talking about big name, big time.
That's
big
the way to do
money
it, though.
athletes.
That's the celebrity. So that's the new way. It's the celebrity sales pitch. You know,
Yep.
the celebrities well, they always have been, but I think they're more accessible now with the social media, and now you can utilize them. They hadn't really thought about the branding as much, but now they're starting to do that. So that's really smart. I hope that works out for them. There's a lot of potential there for utilizing a lot of spaces. That one space that wasn't utilized, and again, I was in fitness. That's my first life, right? So I'm pretty hard on the fitness directors because I used to do that, and I had hundreds of people, hundreds on deck singing That's Amore, stretching. I worked for Princess, so it was a different clientele than what they're looking for, but I work with all ages. That particular time in my life, though, the ship was so connected with fitness. It was so fun. I did dance classes with them, really basic ones, but it was just so fun. And we did it all on deck in the early hours. And when I go on fitness today, a lot of the stuff you have to pay for, it's all through the spa. It's very sterile. It's not really fun. There's not a lot of people. So I was very critical, as I am. Just because I'm an exercise physiologist. It's okay for me to look at things and try to see where I would do better. But on this ship, on Virgin, they had this whole beast mode area. So there was a boxing area, there was seesaws, there was some trampoline type stuff, some swings, and none of it was utilized that I could see. And I thought, oh, what a waste. And they need to have people on it in order to intrigue people to be on it. Otherwise, it's going to stay an empty space. So I think that's very intriguing. And I think that's wise that they get those people involved. But I know it's the new way, Chillie. Nowadays it's all about the representative of who's going to connect with your brand, and then who connects with those people, and then they like your brand. So that's the way the kids are doing it these days.
Yep, absolutely. Well, listen, Shelby, I know you're back to back business wise this morning and you need to run, but I can't thank you enough for being with me and us connecting again. And
yes,
I'm going to start looking.
Check it out. Thank you so much for the time. And again, I'm just so delighted that you're doing so well. I can't wait to hear about your cruises, and keep sending me your info. I'll keep sharing it to our people in our program, and people love what you're doing. So just keep on doing what you're doing. I'm Shelby.
All
You're fabulous.
All right. Thanks, Shelby. We'll see you next time. Love you.
Bye-bye.
See ya. All right, that was Shelby Frenette. That was fun. All right, now let's go back and see if John is still with us. John, are you there? We still got no picture. Can you hear me, John?
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, and I'm sorry about the camera, but we can talk to each other, and I think you've got video from me, right?
Yeah, I've got some. As a matter of fact, let's bring everybody up to date. John, as you know, some of you know, some of you might not know, but John had a chance to witness a
opera.
Philharmonic hall and a magnificent opera last night. We even had to do the Cruise Amigos on an off schedule, but to accommodate John, and then I screwed that up, and it was a real mess. But anyway, John got to go to the opera. So first, a look at the hall. I'm showing now the picture of the hall, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And this is John and his son, as he refers to him.
Number one. That's number one. Henry Förster from Berlin, Germany.
That's Henry's number one. And then we do have some videos. I'm going to go ahead, John, with that, since you can't see. Why is not playing? Huh? I stand up, I will fall. All right, that was of course the hall, and then to give you a little bit of a sample of what it was like. All right, I could go on with forever on that, but anyway, that was just lovely.
Is it not amazing? And that is the most unbelievable hall. Imagine taking a traditional, stage and audience and cutting the audience up into about 12 pieces and just placing them all around the normal stage. Some are way up high, some are down low, some are behind, some are in all places. And you've got this mismatch of places, and every seat in the place has a good view. Every seat in the place has an incredible sound. It was like three-dimensional sound coming at you from every direction. It was an unbelievable experience. The Berlin Philharmonic Hall, unbelievable. I'm going back as soon as I can.
All right, you bit off a little bit too much to chew, though, and you ended up stealing a nap. And you know what I'm showing?
I know what you're showing, but that was me just resting while they went to get the car. Everything in Berlin, they have to park the car about 300 yards. What did I mean? 300 miles away. So
Okay.
I just catch a nap whenever I can, buddy. I'm telling you. And that was me just sleeping and doing a little meditation while they were going to get in the car and come and picking me up.
All right, has there been any news today on the health situation over there, on changes in protocols and so forth, or any news coming out of Rome yet?
Well, we're flying to Rome, of course, tomorrow night. We're getting picked up by the actual VBRO that we're staying in. They're actually picking us up, so we're pretty comfortable with that. But it was about an hour of paperwork to have what's called a preferred finder status or something. So Italy knows exactly why we're there, where we are going to be located, how to get a hold of us, everything that a country might want to know about you, and in case they want to dump us. And I say that in the kindest way. Of course, for me, it's going to be easy because hopefully by Saturday, I'm going to be on the Epic and, sailing home. But I probably wouldn't go if it wasn't for that. I probably wouldn't just be randomly doing a trip. Just like right here in the beautiful restaurant that we're in here in Berlin, everybody stopped at the door and you have to show your vaccination cards. If you're not vaccinated, you're persona non grata everywhere now. And that's only going to get clamped down even worse. So folks, if you're still thinking that being not vaccinated is okay, I don't know what I can do to convince you. But over here in Europe, don't think you're going to get groceries. Don't think you're going to a restaurant. Don't think you're going to the Philharmonic. You can just walk around outside and, be in the corner. That's about all you can do. So.
Are they accepting without question now the American vaccination card?
No. Not without exception. They're looking it over every place. They're taking me because I'm always with a group of Germans that have the QR codes. But everyone is being looked over. We got to do something in America to get it so that we're fitting in with everybody else. And I hope that there's smarter people than me and more powerful people than me that are getting us on the track here so that I'm not showing some unique Minnesota typing card that I could have made in my printer, that I actually have the same documentation that all my friends here around the table have when they can come in and flash their big QR code on their cell phone.
Yeah. All right. Well, John, sorry we don't have your picture. That's sad.
I'm really sorry, man. 2 cameras and I can't get either. I'm working on this remote stuff, but I'll be with you again hopefully tomorrow.
Okay.
Either on the computer or certainly I'll have 3 days in Rome when we can be together again.
All right. Well, I will certainly, I'm staying right with you. And I don't mind us failing miserably.
Today, for tomorrow's stuff, I was in a jail. I was in the jail that the Stasi were running in the last years before the wall came down. And you could have just gotten in jail because your neighbor didn't like you. So they said, hey, I think that they're doing something wrong. And all of a sudden you find yourself behind bars. We're going to talk all about that tomorrow.
But they didn't lock you up.
Well, so I don't think so. I think I'm free, but
Okay.
that's subject to further discussion.
You're free, but you didn't go out and interview Tchaikovsky for me. I really wanted that.
I'm working on it. All I can tell you is subject to further investigation.
Gotcha. All right, John.
Thanks, Chillie.
We'll talk again tomorrow. Thanks.
All righty. We'll see you then. Bye, buddy.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Wow. I'm falling way behind here. Okay, let me get caught up real quick, folks. Today is National Clean Your Refrigerator Day. Now, yeah, I mean, that sounds weird. But especially ladies, I know this is more of the ladies instead of the men. You need to get behind the mayonnaise jar and find the thing that's got the green hairy stuff growing out of it. And we need to get that out of the refrigerator. So it's National Clean Out Your Refrigerator Day today. That's important stuff. All right, we do have some cruise ships sailing today from Port Canaveral. We've got Independence of the Seas. We've got Disney Dream. Both of those are on 4-nighters. And we've got the Carnival Elation, which is showing as a 7-nighter. Actually, what they're doing with the Elation is a 3-day land tour in Orlando and then 4 days on the ship to make the 7. Down in West Palm Beach, you got the Grand Classica for a 2-nighter. Fort Lauderdale, we got Odyssey of the Seas on a 5-nighter. Celebrity Millennium on a 10-nighter. In Miami, we got Crystal Serenity for a 4-nighter. Freedom of the Seas, ship I'm going to be on, for a 4-nighter. Carnival Sunrise, a 5-nighter. Jewel of the Seas, a 5-nighter. And Regent 7 Seas Explorer for a 24-nighter. And over in New Orleans, the Carnival Valor for a 5-nighter. There wasn't a whole lot in the way of news today, folks, which is just as well because I've filled up the best part of an hour without even trying. The main things were in the news today were the important things that happened this weekend. The Norwegian Escape sailed from Port Canaveral, which was number one, the first time a Norwegian ship has sailed from Port Canaveral since before. And it also opened up the Norwegian Escape. Then we got up in Baltimore. The Carnival Legend sailed this weekend. Of course, you know, the Carnival Legend, which is now based in Baltimore, took over for the Carnival Pride, which the Carnival Pride has now moved down to Tampa, and they sailed from Tampa this weekend. So that was the main 3 things that happened this weekend. It was the Norwegian Escape and Norwegian getting started in Port Canaveral, the Carnival Legend sailing in Baltimore, and the Carnival Pride sailing from Tampa. So that's the end of the news portion. Now let's go. I've tried to glance through comments this morning while Shelby was talking, and I kept getting sidetracked with Shelby because she's such a bundle of energy. All right, Kenneth's with us. Emily's with us. Emily was at the circus yesterday. Emily, I'm glad that they did not kidnap you and put you in the lion's cage. That's a good thing. So Emily went to the circus yesterday. Tom Henry's with us. John is underwater. That was. We can't win with some of the stuff now with trying to get either the Wi-Fi signal sucks or now the camera sucks. Wow. Well, at least Shelby's was good. That was nice. And we could hear John. I mean, there was some noise in the background. He was in a restaurant, needless to say. So there was some noise in the background. Nikki's with us. Hey, Nikki, at chilly 63 degrees in Jacksonville. Yeah, that's it's cold here too. It went down to 31 last night. Now we got a couple nights that it's only going to get down to like 40, and then it's going to go back down low again. So we've had a couple really cold nights. I actually have on long pants. Now, I know that you guys don't care much about the fact that I got long pants on, but think about my situation. Not the oxygen situation, the situation down there with the catheter, quite frankly. I'll just be straight up with it, which has a tube. You can't put long pants on and be able to have this tube that doesn't get cut off and cause problems. So I have on long pants. I'm not going to say anything more about that. I'm sort of getting around it. I'll come up with a better thing because I rolled up the pants leg, folks. So my long pants, I still got one bare leg. But all right, Carol's with us. Hey, Carol, good to see you. Emily says, that's what it sounds like. Yeah, I think I sent a PM to John to let him know how we heard and saw the picture. Thank you. Tom Henry said, Hot Air Tom says hello to everybody. Hot Air says we just need submarine sound effects. If I'd known that was going to be ahead of time, I might have come up with something like that. All right, here's Hot Air has some NCL hot news effective for cruises embarking January 17th. NCL will end COVID testing at the port, but will require an antigen or PCR test within 2 days for U.S. residents, 3 days for international. Cruises embarking January 17th on. That's what you're saying. Okay. So they're doing away with that. Okay. Now I see. Yeah. Okay. Good to know. Thank you, Hot Air. I did not see that this morning, but I did not look specifically for that. So thank you. Hot Air says that NCL offers a pay test at the port for $99. I've got some interesting, one of the things that I started working on this morning, and I've gotten sidetracked on my back-to-back-to-backs. I mean, my Royal Caribbean, the first cruise, I can do the CVS here before I leave and come to Florida. But then I get off the Freedom of the Seas and I've got a day in Miami and get back on the MSC. And then after the Seashore, I have a day in Miami before I get on the Divina. I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to accomplish the testing for both of the MSCs because I'm coming off of a cruise ship to start with. So I'm not sure exactly how to handle that one yet. I'm still working on that. Maybe, but I'll take the home test with me and try to do the home test down there. I don't know. I got to work on that one some. And Hot Air says, take that whiny Don tears. Yeah. Kenneth says, hey, Tom, when you go on NCL, do you stay in the Haven? Is it worth it? Tom says, John is drowning. Ken, I had a bid upgrade to Haven once on the gym. Would never pay those prices to book. We do suites like the aft penthouse suites on Dawn and Jewel class ships. Dawn and Star also have awesome. I have never either booked to go for a suite. I put bids in. I've never won a bid to a suite. But then, hell, I'll do an inside cabin and not worry about it. I just want to be on the boat. Hot Air says, suites on deck 12, no balcony, but huge room with lots of floor-to-ceiling windows. Emily, do you think Don is being whiny cheapskate regarding his COVID testing? I have not followed that one, folks. You're going to have to fill me in on that. Emily says I have to watch his recent videos. That means I got to go watch Don's videos too because I don't keep up with him. like I do Tony. Tony, I watch all the time. I like Tony. Tony and I do very much the same thing. He's just a lot bigger than I am, obviously. I mean, he's got, 17,000 people and I got, 2,500. But I really like him. So you'll see me on a lot of his live streams. You'll see me in his chat room on occasions. But yeah. All right. Hot Air says, testing Chillie. Order the Abbott home test. We will test on Celebrity for the following Bliss cruise. Okay. I didn't know how much space they took. If it's, if a space issue. But so, yeah, then all I have to do is call into however to do it. Okay. That's what I was leaning toward, but I wasn't entirely sure. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. It's been a busy morning. I apologize for the confusion, at least with John. I did want to get a report from the opera house. I was fascinated with that, and fascinated with the sound was just sensational. I'm not a big opera person, so I can't comment on opera. I'm pretty, I'm fairly familiar with classical music and have done lots of symphonies and symphony orchestras and things. But I'm just not. I just my lack of knowledge shows when we talk about opera, and I don't know much about it. But I thought that was gorgeous. That sound was fabulous. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. I'll see everybody. Oh no, tomorrow. Time out. No live show tomorrow. Shoot, I should have told John that too. I have an oncologist appointment that I can't change. This is the important one. This is the one where I see how healthy I really am. And if we have to do anything else again, which I don't think we do, but give me the shot. I got to have the Lupron shot, which I hope is done tomorrow as well. So anyway, this is a big appointment for me. But I will have, I'll put together a show in the morning, tape it, and it will go live at 11. So you will have, if there's any news tomorrow, check, look for the links in the normal places, and it will go live at 11 o'clock. But it will be a tape, not a live show. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. I will see everybody back here on Wednesday for Wednesday Travel and Cruise Industry News. I will post a show tomorrow. That's it for today. You guys have a terrific day. See you soon.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie Chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises. All right.